Welcome back to Dominate Your Day. I'm Dana Williams. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt genuinely energized after a full day of leadership? I don't want to ask you about when you were just tired but satisfied. I want to ask when you were actually energized. If you had to think about it for a while, this episode is for you. Because I want to challenge the assumption underneath that most productivity and performance conversation, there's this idea that the goal is to get more done in less time. I know I grew up that way. Hurry up, get everything done, be more efficient. And it was really elevated in the 80s and 90s. And we learned it from the generations before us. So what if the goal is to do the right thing in a way that builds your energy instead of consuming it? That's energy management. And it's the most underutilized leadership skill in every high performer I've ever worked with. Here's the trap. We optimize our calendars, our systems, our workflows, and then we wonder why we're so exhausted. Time management assumes that if you protect enough blocks and batch enough tasks, you'll feel really good. But time is a neutral resource. What makes leadership energizing or depleting isn't how much time you spend at something. It's whether that thing is aligned with your strengths, your values, and your mission. I've watched leaders spend an hour in a meeting that left them more energized than they started. And I've watched leaders, actually, the same leaders, make a 5-minute phone call that left them flat for the rest of the afternoon. The difference had nothing to do with duration. It had everything to do with alignment. When you're operating from your strengths, you're generating enough energy as you work. When you're operating from your strengths, you're generating energy as you work. When you're compensating for misalignment, that means when you're using your executing talents to fill gaps because you're not in your authentic zone, you're spending energy you don't have. One of my favorite sayings is it's all about managing your energy and not your time. And emotional recognition is what makes energy management possible. Here's why. You can't manage your energy if you can't read it. And reading it requires emotional awareness. It's the ability to notice what's happening inside you in real time. When you develop this skill, your daily leadership becomes a feedback loop. You notice that this type of work lights you up. This kind drains you before noon. This meeting leaves you feeling sharper. That one leaves me feeling smaller. I want you to think about that as data, and that data is gold. Most leaders ignore it because they've been taught that feelings aren't relevant to performance. I'm telling you the opposite. Your emotional response to your work is the most precise performance data you will ever have. The goal isn't to only do things that feel good. Leaders have real obligations. The goal is to understand your energy economics well enough to make sustainable choices and to protect those activities that generate the fuel that makes everything else possible. So here's how to start managing your energy, not your time. First, run an energy audit. I want you just to look at 5 days. At the end of each workday, write down one activity that gave you energy and then one that cost you energy. Don't judge the list, just track it. After 5 days, look for the pattern. The energy draining activities will almost always have one of 3 things in common. They're misaligned with your top strengths, they require you to compromise a core value, or they're disconnected from your mission. Step 2, protect your prime. Every leader has a time window when they're operating at their best, when their thinking is clearest, when their creativity is highest, and their presence is strongest. For most people, it's the first 90 minutes of the workday. It is for me. If I don't protect that time, I am not aligned the rest of the day. That window is your most valuable energy currency. What are you spending it on? If the answer is email triage and reactive meetings, you're burning your best fuel on the lowest value tasks of the day. Protect your prime window for your highest alignment work, the work that requires your best thinking and leaves you energized rather than depleted. And then step 3, build recovery into your design. Sustainable leadership isn't about going harder. It's about knowing when to replenish. What fills up your tank? For leaders with relationship building strengths like woo, positivity, and includer, it's often connection, going and having a real conversation. It might be on the phone, it might be on Zoom, it might be in person. Just a genuine encouragement, a time with people who matter. For leaders with strategic thinking strengths, it might be uninterrupted thinking time. Know what refuels you specifically, not what the internet says refuels leaders in general. Do what builds you up each day, not what you think you're supposed to be doing. And then build it into your week by design, not by accident. So leadership sustainability starts on the inside. Here's your 3 action items from today's episode. Run the 5-day energy audit and track 1 energy giver and 1 energy drainer per day. Let that data show you what needs to change. Number 2, protect your prime window for 1 week. Identify your best 90 minutes each day and guard them with your highest alignment work. For me, I had to get up earlier, block the time. And when I was working on the Internal Revolution book, I actually got up between 4:30 and 5 each morning and just found that was my time. And it was hard once the book was launched to be able to go back to a regular 6 o'clock wake up. And I'm slowly getting there, but right now that's my window. So from 5 to usually 6:37 in the morning is when I'm catching up, and I'm really energized with that prime window. And it might be that you do it every day, or you might do it, every other day or twice a week, but know that's your energy time. And then number 3, take the authentic imprint assessment to understand your unique energy architecture. This is your strengths, your values, and the kind of work that generates momentum for you specifically. Just go to danawilliamsco.com and look for the resource, and you can download it. Take the free assessment. It takes 3 minutes. Thank you for being with us today. Again, I'm Dana Williams, and I want to remind you that you were built to lead from the inside out, not run on empty. Let's make that real, 1 day at a time.